What's up YouTube? Balder here, and I am playing some more DCS World. I am in the A-10C this time. I'm going to do something that's not MiG-21 related today, but it is going to be related to the MiG-21 in the fact that I'm going to show you a comparison between the two. Now, you're probably thinking that it's a little bit unfair to compare the A-10 to the MiG-21, though to be honest, it seems like the A-10 is about the only thing that could be shot down by that plane. I'm just saying. But anyway, yeah. One of the things I want to discuss are the differences between the startup of the MiG-21 and the startup of the A-10C. You will notice it is quite a bit different. If you haven't seen my MiG-21 quick startup video, I suggest looking at that first. There'll be a link in the description. But for the most part, I'm just going to get started here, and I'm going to do a familiarization flight. This is actually the Georgian Hammer campaign. This is the beginning, and you start with, well, absolutely nothing turned on. So this is actually going to take a lot longer. It's going to be a lot more complicated, and since it's going to be more complicated, I am going to be using a checklist. This checklist has been provided by Dragon's 25th VFS. I'm guessing that's Virtual Fighter Squadron. And you can do the checklist in many ways, shapes, and forms. I decided to choose this one minus a small little variation in the in the manual, and I'll explain why. But first, we're going to go through the checklist. So at night, we need the emergency flood on. No, we don't. Second thing is the ejection seat that's armed. If you go into the tutorial, that's actually the last thing you actually switch. But apparently, they want you to do this. So, battery on, inverter standby. Alright, test the signal lights. Okay, we can go ahead and do that. Now, it is kind of interesting. Something that I did find out. First off, that's very annoying. Incredibly annoying. But there is a way to get rid of that stuff. One of the things you could do is that if you notice here, there's this little switch called Master Caught, or Master Caution. This little 5 button. These are circuits. So, if you were to pull this out, then how about that? No problem with noise, and thank God. Now, to be honest, that isn't necessarily the smartest thing to do. It's just an option, and I feel that people should be aware of that. So we're going to test the fuel indicator now, down to 3,000, and it should be within plus or minus 200 pounds. That looks quite a bit accurate. Alright, so that's good. So the oxygen supply is going to be on. Normally we would test the oxygen indicator and it would give us a warning at that point, but since I just disabled the caution, you don't really have to worry about that. So now we're going to turn the boost pumps on. Yes. Let's do that. Left and right AC gen power. Okay, well, fair enough. Now the intercom control, we will just go ahead and push a few switches. I believe that is one that we need to have, and then I'm trying to remember which ones they were. Yeah, that's it. Man, it's been kind of forever since I actually played the A-10, so it's a little bit rusty. You gotta forgive me, but I believe that's it. For the most part, I'm basically going off of the manual, and you always do need a checklist. Every pilot goes through the checklist, and if you don't go through the checklist, you could actually lose your license. So we're going to close the canopy. The APU is going to be going on. Let's fire that shit up. Ooh, quite a bit nice. And obviously we don't have any warnings, so if something's going on, well, not much I can do about that, but we're gonna wait until it spools up. And the APU generator should be up to about 100%. So it's getting up there, close enough to 100%. Let's turn the power on. Alright, so this is where I tend to deviate a little bit from the checklist, and you will find out why. Alright, so aside from the APU is supposed to provide bleed air to the engines, but it also serves another purpose. One of the things that the APU serves a purpose for is supplying power to the aircraft. That APU generator, it'll generate more than enough power to get all the systems up and running. So we're actually going to skip turning on the engines right about now. So yeah, skipping that stuff. But afterwards, we are going to turn the CICU on, put this on test, hit enter, and that's going to be doing its thing. The JTRS goes on, and if this were the MiG-21, we'd already be off the ground, so, oh well. So we're going to turn this on, the CDU and the IGI. I believe that's the CDU, is it? Yeah. And if you're wondering why I'm still using the joystick to move around the cockpit, you don't have to worry about that. I have ordered a track IR, and it should be here sometime next week, so expect that.
Pull up, pull up.
Anyway, we're gonna uncage this, turn these on, because why not? Alright, yes, and then the bit check is complete, so I'm gonna press enter, and we're good there. Now, after that's done, we are going to, yeah, we did that. We're going to turn this thing on now. HUD mode, set it to day and night. It is day, and it looks good enough for me. Alright. So, left MFCD, well, we're going to, oh yeah, we have to turn those things on. Honestly, I don't know the difference between day and night in terms of practicality, because night will apparently get the job done. I do know that it is dimmer, and you need dimmer lights at nighttime so that your eyes can get acclimated to all the wonderful, I guess, darkness that is the night. Basically, you want to get all the rods up and running in your eyes. Alright, so we're going to load all of these DTS crap from the left MFCD. And then the right MS, well, we're going to wait for this thing to load. There will be asterisks on all of these once it's done. Alright, so I'm going to switch that to CDU. And we are going to check out the flight controls. Yeah, flight controls are not working because the engines are not on. Go figure. So we are going to actually start the engines now. This is actually a fuel-saving measure. It's not something you generally need to do because the A-10 is surprisingly fuel-efficient for a jet aircraft. It is ground attack, so there is that. But, yeah. In terms of the APU generator, you know, it does consume fuel, but definitely not as much as an engine. So if you're worried about the fuel efficiency of your aircraft, that is another option. That's what I do, and you can do that as well. It's a perfect, well, method to actually going about that. Alright, so that's up and running. Engines look good, so I'm going to start the right engine. Now engines should be quite a bit better. Alright. So those needles are spinning up. As you can tell, the jet engines are nice and happy, so we're good with that. Alright, almost spooled up. Alright, we're good. APU gen power goes off. Gonna go to, well, that later. Gonna turn the APU off and check to see if everything is good to go. This is a familiarization flight, so yeah, we're not gonna get a whole lot of that. Alright, so yeah. Now that we did that, we are going to set our takeoff trim. Good there. The EGI should be aligned, so I am going to click nav. There we go. Then set the EGI to here. Then I am going to click hidden buttons here. And a hidden button, I believe. Well, let's check it out. Yeah. Hidden button there. Alright. So we're good. Now that we did that, the AAC should be armed. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Radar altimeter is good. And left MSCD should be like that, as such. Now we need to switch the switch here to flight plan. That gets us our nice, wonderful lines here. Then we put in the anti-skid. I'm going to turn on the targeting pod as well. It takes a little bit of time to move there, and why not? Targeting pod is nice. So we're going to press insert to engage the steering. Now we are going to change the flaps to 20. And that should be good. So yeah. Anyway, that's a startup. Takes quite a bit longer than the actual MiG-21 startup for clear, obvious reasons, but we're gonna turn these on, turn this on to standby. Alright, and the jammer is standby active air. For this mission, we are going to go to SAM 1. Makes things a little bit more simple, because if you look at it, I guess you do have frogfoot, so might be something to worry about, but I'm not too concerned. But alright, yeah, we're good to go. So we are just going to taxi, check our wonderful spoilers, or air brakes, whatever you want to call it. Continue to taxi. Don't really need a laser on. So we don't have any real weapons to face off against armor, and I do know that there are some bad pieces of Russian machinery just waiting to get us killed. So once I take off, I'm going to climb to a higher altitude to avoid any of the crappy shoulder-mounted surface-to-air missiles. And I'm just going to turn on my landing lights, and God, I can't wait for the Oculus Rift. Or not the Oculus Rift, but the Track IR. Jesus. So we're going to slowly spool the engines up, and then full throttle. Alright. Airspeed is a little bit difficult to see, but now it's gone active, so I disable nose wheel steering. I'm only steering with my rudder because the airspeed wills it. Alright, so we're getting up to 110, 120, rotate. and then we take off our gears. And oh no, the annoying sound is back. Ah, jeez. Well, is what it is. But yeah, now that we got all that squared away, how about we take that
over the city of Batumi.
and re-enable that stuff.
This also appears to be objective for the Russians to the north.
Is that so? Alright, so we are going to take our flaps out and switch whenever. Come on. Yeah, that doesn't seem like the safest thing in the world. I am going to turn on the master arm. Go to my Dismas. Go into the missile. Why not? Then I'll press the AIM-9. Huh. Well, what can I say? There might be a small little problem with the sound of the AIM-9, but what I'm always puzzled about is how to uncage the little sensor. And I wish I knew how, but I don't. That's annoying, but is what it is. If I feel that there's going to be some issues with, well, certain aircraft, like that little annoying frogfoot, well, that might be a little bit more problematic. I do see a SAM, and it is well within firing range. I'm hoping that that's a friendly. I'm assuming that's a friendly, and I hope to God that's a friendly, but we don't have anything that's
if you look down,
attacking us, so...
It's actually really nice to see the city. Visit the tourists after this whole mess is over. We'll keep heading north along the coast.
Yes, the ever so beautiful Batumi. Looks like a peaceful, quiet town of Georgia. Who knows? Alright. Going 8,000 feet. Definitely want to be aware of shoulder-mounted SAMs, especially if we're going to be flying over a war zone. Jeez. Familiarization flight my ass. Now,
contact armored target, 12 o'clock, point 10. 2, Tally Bandit, 11 o'clock. 2, contact 2, Tally Bandit, 11 o'clock. 2, contact target, 12 o'clock, point 10.
will those guys ever shut up?
2, contact
The answer is no.
target, 12 o'clock, point 10. 2, contact air defense target, 12 o'clock, point 11.
Air defense target. Jeez. Alright. So, that might be slightly problematic.
2, contact air defense target, 12 o'clock, point 11.
Oh well, makes no difference to me. I'm still pushing the climb rate of this plane like it's nobody's business. To about 11,600 and, yeah, 1117. Whatever it is. Alright. So we're at 12,000. Am I safe? I'm gonna...
We're at the smaller city of Chakva. This is the last major population area before we reach the front. This will also be a good IP for us. Let's head to the northeast.
I swear something's gonna freaking kill me. I'm getting nervous over a stupid fam flight. Oh well. Is what it is. But these SAMs are a little bit nerve-wracking. Oh well. It's only within my firing circle. Nothing bad could ever happen there.
We're now over the eastern extent of our forces and are acting as a speed bump. Sorry, I mean blocking force. It's not much, but it's what the 7th Corps can muster up in a hurry. Just 15 clips to the north of the Russians. Come west to the next stop.
Ah, those evil Russians. How evil they are with their vodka or something. Alright. So we're going to take a nice little sharp turn. I am really close to my AOA. Still climbing though, so at least that's something. It's a lot easier to climb when you have less weight, and since I don't have any armaments on me, yeah, I don't have to worry about weight of the aircraft that much. Fuel, however, in an ironic way, does add weight, and since I didn't go about taking out some fuel, or I decided to use the APU instead of the engines, that was slightly problematic, but still, nothing too big. Alright. So far, things look pretty good.
Now reach the western end of our line. Most of our forces are a combination of M1s and Bradleys. The Russians are mostly T-72s and BMPs, under our gals. Let's swing south back to base.
Alright, so looks like I don't have that big of an issue when it comes to the Frogfoots, knock on wood, but we look good. And we're still climbing. We don't need to climb anymore, so I'm just going to ease on the throttle. When it comes to saving fuel, it's probably a good idea to reduce your throttle in mid-flight. You don't need full throttle to fly straight and level, and it does cost more fuel when you're just burning it up. However, when you're climbing, I personally would like the engines on at full power, and especially in a combat situation, or I'm doing runs and things like that I need to evade. All that stuff is generally going to be a good idea to just...
Well, those are the highlights of our tour, sir. Contact A-10C, and I'll see you back on the ground.
Yep. That you will. I'm gonna reduce my speed. I'm gonna drop in altitude. Do an action-packed landing, because why not? I never really bother contacting A-10C because it just seems like a waste. But you can contact A-10C. It does have a proper air traffic control tower, I guess is the best way to put it, programmed into this game. Still, it is a little bit unneeded, not to mention that you can never declare a state of emergency with these guys. You can't contact them for weapons, ground power, repairing, refueling, things like that. So, it is definitely worth something. I'm going way too fast, so I definitely need to waste some more airspeed until I can turn on my flaps as well. I guess I'm going too fast for that. Alright, well, time to lift my nose up. That will really reduce my speed. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'll put the landing gear down as well. Alright, so flaps are up, landing gear is up. Totally miss the turn for the airport. But that's fine. Alright. Don't need these things anymore, so I'm gonna just freaking turn them off or some shit. Alright, there we go. Master Arm is safe. Alright. So we're good there. Don't want my mouse near the jettison. Alright, so I did not line up that approach that well. Still, I can manage. It's better to make smaller corrections further away than it is to make bigger corrections the closer you get. Alright. So, if you notice on the left of the runway, you have these bright lights that are completely white, and how they were originally red before. That's called the PAPI. Basically, it tells you how high you are. You want 2 reds and 2 whites. White means you're abnormally high, red means you are abnormally low. If you get too many red lights, as such, you are way too low. But yeah, just stay within that glide slope, and yeah, that would be quite advisable, is the best way to put it.
Altitude, altitude.
Oh, don't tell me about altitude. I am landing quite a bit slowly, but I'm sure that's fine. Alright, so I'm gonna take my engines to idle, roll up. A little hard on the landing, but it's perfectly fine. See? Didn't pop any tires. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to make this quick video. I know I haven't been uploading a lot of videos lately, especially not a lot of DCS World videos lately, so I do apologize for that, but I'll see if I can do some more. I really don't want to do a whole lot of DCS videos without having the track IR, so that's something to keep in mind. But, you know, other than that, I do want to do more DCS videos, and there will be other videos as well if you are interested in that. And if you guys have a suggestion on what you want me to play next, then leave a comment in the comments section. I always read them. Seriously, even when I'm at work, I'll occasionally check my email on my phone and see if I have any new messages. I'm kind of bored that way. But anyway, yeah, that should be it for today. So, with that said, like and favorite this video and subscribe. There are plenty more videos where that came from, so you have a nice day.